my favorite one. She's a little out of tune right now. I need to, after sitting in the basement for so long, I think I need to have a setup and a tune-up on it. Hello, I'm Oliver the Caretaker Collins, guitar player of the Fiendish Phantoms from the Madison, Wisconsin area. We're kind of a horror punk, horror rock, goth band. The band, the Fiendish Phantoms, came around, I'd say around 2009-ish is when things kind of started getting together. I was trying to be in a band with a lot of strangers, and if you know Dio, you know what Dio says? Don't talk to strangers! Yeah, so I was like, can't be, banding straight with strangers is just difficult, you know. So I was like, this is it. I'm going to get friends that are into the same type of music or close to the music that I like, and they're going to learn how to either sing, play bass, and learn how to play the drums. So I had a bunch of friends at the time, and they, you know, one of them came over one time because he saw I was like playing a Ramones song. He's like, hey, I can sing that. He said something else, but I'm not, you know, this is PG. But anyways, so he came over, I played the song, he sang, we came up with some funny songs just for fun, and then we had another buddy that he didn't play any instruments, but his brother had a drum set, so he took his brother's drum set. I don't know if you call that stealing or not, and he didn't know anything about the drums. And we gave him a couple pointers, and he started learning how to play a little bit. And then another buddy from work where we worked wanted to try out bass, and he bought a bass, and then it took off. And we did a outside show at like a before Halloween show outside, and it was windy as all HE double hockey sticks. But that's pretty much how the band, I would say, started. So currently, obviously, with the pandemic, you know, wearing the mask and everything being safe, there really hasn't been too much going on with the band. I would say this last October was the last time we had a band practice until the pandemic kind of got out of hand. But at the present moment, we have a good foundation of a lineup. We recently, in the last, well, probably it doesn't seem like a year, but in the last year, we got a new drummer. He's really excited. He wants to play out. And obviously, with the pandemic, that's going to be, you know, we'll have to see how that works out. But we're all eager to get going. We're going to have new merch coming in. You know, during the pandemic, it's hard for bands to keep people knowing that they're alive, even though we're undead, but you know what I'm saying? So we've been trying to like kind of send a message that, oh, we got new merch, we can't wait to see you, you know, stuff that, you know, how we feel about the band on Facebook. So social media has helped out that. Without social media during the pandemic, bands would be in a world of hurt. So this is a part where social media is actually very, very positive. And we're hoping to, I'm not gonna send any dates because we don't know, you know, vaccinations and stuff like that. You know, that's a whole nother story. But we're hoping to we've been talking about doing an outdoor show, which it sounds like, I think we're all gonna be on board for that, sometime, you know, in the summer. So that's that. And we also want to record too. We want to, you know, the band, we want to do shows, but then we want to record, so we gotta kind of get plan things out, I'll say. Alright, as far as the Fiendish Phantom gear, this is Dr. Deacon I. Bell's station, the bassist of the Fiendish Phantoms. Among other things, you know, he's a scientist. I kind of call him a mad scientist. Don't let him know I did that. He'll probably say this though. But this is a Yamaha 4-string bass. I believe this is the one. Let me check. Yep, this one actually has an active pickup, so you put a battery back there. I know he tends to kind of like the passive one, but he likes how this one plays. And he's got his hard key cabinet, ultra bass head, which sounds really, really nice. And one thing about the Doctor, Deacon Ibel, he plays with his fingers. I mean, he's a scientist, so he's got the fingers to do it. So he's like that. So. Some of his favorite bassists are Les Claypool and Steve Harris from Iron Maiden. So that is the bass setup where the bottom comes into play. Alright, and if you're going to be in a rock band, or punk band, metal band, you got to have a drummer. I mean, there have been bands that have gone without a bassist, but you need to have a drummer. So this is our Fiendish Phantoms, right there. Drum set. Little funny story about this drum set is when we purchased it and we brought it here and we set it up, our singer Dominus Morte noticed that the skin here of the tree looked familiar, and that is because me and Dominus went to a show at the Crucible in Madison on a weekday. It was a little weird. I forgot what band it is. I apologize, Dominus. It's one of his favorites. But one of the opening bands, this was their drum. So it's kind of funny that now we have the drum set from that band. But yes, this is our drum set that we purchased about a year ago, and this is where we also tried out some new drummers and stuff. And our new drummer, he digs it. He digs it. Yeah, so that is the drum set. I can't really say much about it because I can't really play the drums too well, but I believe, yeah, it's a pearl, so you can't really go wrong with a pearl. So yeah. All right, now we have my little corner of mayhem, you could say, where I make the noise. Some people would say call it music. So. All right, first off, we'll start with the skulls. Very important. I'm not gonna say whose it is. No, it's not anybody's really. But anyways, another thing that I kind of like is, you know, we're a horror rock spooky band, is I got this thing where I hold my picks in. So it's kind of a nice little addition there. It is not a cereal bowl. Don't get any ideas out there. Alright. Alright, then the meat and potatoes of the rig here is the head unit here, which is a Randall. If you're a metal fan, especially of the 80s or 90s, pretty much know Randall is metal. So getting this amp, I wanted a tube amp, but I wanted something that had reviews where the distortion of just the amp, no pedals or anything, was good enough. So that's what I went with. As you can see, it glows blue. Those are LEDs. I always wanted to change them to green, but I just never got to it. It's got 3 channels. It's only a 50 watt amp, but when you play shows, you're usually mic'd anyways. And then I know this guy named Nikolai from Russia would really like this little tidbit. Oh, I bet you would. Da. This came with tubes, these little things here. And I had a different amp that I think is a Bulgara that had Russian tubes. And the Russian tubes, I just liked the sound of them, the clarity and stuff. So this has the Russian tubes in it. So very, very nice. It's got clean distortion, whatever. And then a Bulgara cabinet. It's kind of a lower end, kind of like a Marshall knockoff, but it's done me well. I've done shows with it. It's got wheels on the bottom. It does its job. I haven't, you know, people say they like the sound of it, and if they like it, then it's doing good. So, all right. Then I got you have to have a tuner. We got the Boss Chromatic tuner. I forgot to show, but the bassist has the same one as I do. It's Boss pedals are tried and true. I mean, you pay a little bit more, but they're made out of metal. You gotta get them. You know, they're made out of metal. All right, so we got that. Then we got this little thing here. This is the Boss ME70. It's kind of like a multiple effects processor type of thing. I don't use it too much for the distortion. I have, I like the volume. So like if I'm, I could just, stuff like that. There's a few, you can get a lot of sounds on here. I'm not exactly a gear, pedal head, I guess you could say. But that's that. And then also the Randall amp came with a, that would be for clean. That'd be kind of like AC/DC distortion. And this one is blow your mind. So, all right. Okay, now we're going to go with the guitars, and we're going to go with my favorite first. If anybody from Madison is watching this and remembers a music store called Ward Brought Music over in Fitchburg, they used to sell a lot of guitars, and that's where I got this one from. This is a Jackson Dinky XL Professional, made in Japan, before the Japan factory went up in flames. This one's from, they're kind of hard to remember, like, this one's from either like 92 or 93. I know the catalog, this was under the guitarist from Def Leppard, Phil Collen. So, and yeah, this is what it's kind of like a burst. Normally this guitar runs about $1,200 brand new. I got it for I think $400 or $700. I know that's a big difference, but it's been a while. So I really like it. A lot of people don't like the Floyd Rose. That's what I started with. It stays in tune really, really good. The only thing is, if you want to change it, it's kind of a pain. So, yeah, that's my favorite. All right. Oh, and I also suggest, especially if you're going to play live, getting locking straps. It basically locks it in, so that's not coming off. If I wanted to do the spin around, which I don't do, but you could do it. This one I bought brand new. If any of you out there are Mastodon fans, you will probably recognize this one. This is one of his signature guitars. It's the LTD BK600. It's like a military satin, so if you got done eating French fries or something, you don't want to probably touch it. It also has passive pickups, so you don't have to worry about that battery like in the EMGs. It has these things, you're like, oh, what is that? That is called coil tapping. You pull it out. This one now is a single coil. Pull it out. Now this one's a single coil to get that more crisp, punk, and cleans. And this one also has the neck through. And I was a little worried about the satin, the finish being painted, but it's very nice. So yeah. And it is very heavy, and I don't mean that in a music sense, it's very heavy. So that's where that pedal really comes in handy for that setting. sounds really nice. This guitar does sound really nice, not gonna lie. One of our newer ones, I can play a little bit of that. This one is going to be, I believe, called the Eye. Kind of about Edgar Allan Poe, the Telltale Heart, about the eye, the old man with the eye. Pretty much the meat and potatoes of that. There's a couple different things, but kind of horror rock, horror punk. So, yeah. And this here is the microphone that the singer uses. It's a Samson, kind of like a live mic. It doesn't have an on and off. And then this is also our PA, basically, mixer type of thing, PV. We've had that ever since the band pretty much started. So we got that. The microphone does work. I do not sing.
Thank you very much.
That's pretty much it when it comes to the gear. There's also this Pelican TC like reverb pedal, which is actually our old singer's, but he lets us use it. So
thank you, Night Stalker.
That was his name. So that's that. That's pretty much it. Well, this is Oliver the Caretaker Collins from the Fiendish Phantoms, and thank you for spending some time in the Fiendish Phantoms realm. And if you want to hear more of the Fiendish Phantoms, we have a Reverb Nation, we have a Bandcamp Fiendish Phantoms, and a SoundCloud as well, and a Facebook. But if you look at the Facebook one, it's the Fiendish Ones. Back in the day, the Fiendish Phantoms was too long to have the name. So, yes, indeed. So, have a great Fiendish day.